Hello, today we are going to help a solo learner called Sheida. Sheida has designed this game, and she has when the red brick is collide with the green brick, then the score has keep incrementing. So that's why she comes to me for help. And now if we click on this button, it's not going to move. So let's look at her code. So she has the styling and then some JavaScript. So the event listeners are here. So she has listened to the touch start and the touch end event, which are for the mobile phone. So on a desktop computer or laptop, then cannot control the brake. So let's try to add some event listeners for the mouse. And let me split it into a different file. Split it into a different file first. Then let's bring it in here. Go to the head. Let's add a script. And the source should be data.js, and we should defer it. So let's see. Now let's add the event listeners. So the event listeners are added on. Yeah, let's fix the indentation first. To fix the indentation in the VS Code, you can use the format document. So this will fix the indentation properly, and then we can go to check the elements. So here she has not get elements for these buttons. She's taking advantage of the JavaScript header ID of an element will be a variable pointing to that element. So let's keep it simple in that way. So now what we need to add is some event listeners similar to touch start and touch end. So when she used touch start and touch end instead of click, then this request animation frame will cause this to keep moving. So once she start to touch the buttons, then it will turn the flag true. And when the flag is true, then the red brick will keep moving. So it is actually a very brilliant way. So now what we need to add is uh, for the mouse, it is mouse down and mouse up. So let's basically copy this or this. Let's delete this empty line. Let's copy this. And here, let's go to left. Okay, so go left dot. So here, the add definition for mouse start is, for touch start is mouse down. For touch end is mouse up. Let's replace them. Mouse down. These are the mouse up. Right? So let's see. Yes, when I start clicking, it start moving, and I stop. When I start clicking, it's move, and when I leave, it is stop. And now we can see that when they overlap, the green square will become blue, and the score keep increasing. So she wants the score to increase once only. So let's go to fix the core problem for us first before we handle some other issues. So for the for the score to keep improving, incrementing. So we should look into here when the request anything is looping this function called loop, and inside loop it is moving the break, and then she has called a function called collision test. So the collision test is here. there is another function to keep calling interval to increment to display the score, which is actually uh doesn't it's not necessary because the loop you are looping already, so you don't need two two function to two interval. So we will solve it too. We will solve it later. So here when inside the correlation test, it has checked whether green dot length. So green is an array. So green is an elements by class name. So she is looping over all the green squares, and she is getting the red top, green, green left, and she's using the get computer style to get the actual uh, style at that time, and that should be useful if breaks are a relative positioning. No, it's not. So actually, it's not necessary. If her break is not of a relative size, then actually it is not necessary to do it this way. She can just initialize it in the JavaScript and store it in a variable. So we will take this enhancement later too. And here she calculate the difference and then calculate the hypotenuse. And if it is smaller than 60, you will start to bring it to blue and increment the count. And this is why uh, she keeps incrementing when they are of a shorter distance. So that's why it keeps incrementing. And this 60, let me see why it is 60. Red, big, big, and the ball. Yeah, this one she called ball, the class ball, and with a width and height of fixed width and fixed height of 60 px. And that's why she use a fixed number 60 here. So we will so this calculation has some room for improvement too, but we'll leave it later. And now let's look at how to solve the keep incrementing problem first. So here so actually when she start to collide, you should add a first of all you can see that in some occasion it is not counted. For example, in this situation, it is not counted because this this two has a hypotenuse more than 60, but actually it has already collided. So this is the failure of this formula. So we'll solve this. We'll solve this later. And let me use a notepad to jot down. The first thing is keep incrementing problem. The second one is the correlation test formula. The third one is this one. So let's get computer style one. Unnecessary. And 3B, let's see how in what situation it is necessary. The fourth improvement is this set interval to update the score. And the fifth one is get element. Right. So let's fix this as the target today. So first of all, when collection starts, we should have a state to indicate that the collection has started. So let's go to, and in some situation, both break will have a collision. So this should be count as one or count as two. That's a problem to consider. If they should count as one's time, then we only need one global variable. But if it is count as two different times, then we should have each green square should have a state variable. So let's begin with the simple one. The 1A should be a single global flag, and 1B will be an individual flag to indicate that the collision has started or not. Okay, so this is the let's go to the code here. What we should do is declare a variable. Okay, so she's using the keyword bar, so we should deal with these two. Shouldn't use bar. So we should deal with it too. So first of all, when we have a flag for a single flag, for example, collision start, let's call it entered then, and the initial state to be false. So let's add some remark. So this is a single global state flag to indicate collision has started. So after having this initial global flag inside the collision text, suppose we are using this formula, instead of incrementing directly, we should turn the flag. So the flag should be entered flag should be equals to true. And here the entered flag should be equals to false. So if it enters, then it is true, and if it is not, then it is false. So here, what we will do is okay. So if we use one single flag, then the other green flags will turn it back into false. So we should keep it. Okay. So yeah. So actually, we can use one single flag because if we use one single flag, when this one turn the flag into true, and then this one when evaluating this one, this will turn it back into false, and it will still keep incrementing. So this one doesn't work. So we will need to have individual flag for each green box. So let's go to here. Instead of having one single flag, we should have a list of flags. And here, after getting the green, we will have initialize the flag. So for the initial flag, we will have, what we will do is running a for loop for let I equals to 0, and it should be smaller than the number of green boxes. It will increment. So while it is incrementing, then entered will push false into it. So let's define it in this way. So let's console log it. So for example, if I want to console log it, I can go to here. So I can console log the here. I can inside the loop add a console log entered. So it should be an array with all the value being false. And because we have two green box, so we have two elements in the array, and it keep logging false false. So here, let's remove this log. Let's keep this log first. So here, instead of incrementing, we will go to turn is flag. So the entered with the index of I, it will be turned into true. And if not, entered I will be false. So this is actually similar to this blue color. So if it is colliding, the color will be blue. If it is not, it will go back to default. So let's save it and see the change. So now we are keep showing false false, but suppose now I am colliding the first one, then you see it becomes true false. And if I am colliding the second one, it will be false true. And if I am overlapping both, then it will be true true. So this true true means that we have the red brick colliding with both of the green brick at the same time. And it has not ended yet. So the collision, the overlapping has not ended yet. So this is the meaning of true true. And now if we shift a little bit, and due to the collision testing error, it is counted as not colliding, and in this case, it becomes false. So we can make use of this. So now, what we will need to do is incrementing it here. Increment if yeah, increment if not collided yet. First if entering. Increment score if enter. So I'm creating a function called increment score if enter. So what does this function do? It will check the flag and increment it. So let's go to define it inside the scope of collision test. So I don't want this to be accessible outside. I just want it to be accessible inside this collision test first. So let's see. Let's call if we need to use the I, so we should do it inside here. So when we do it inside here, it will use the I. So if entered I goes to false, if it is false, then we will increment the score by 1. And if not, we don't increment the score and we don't need to else. So let's save it and see if it works. So now we have the increment score if entered inside the if code block, and if the entered is false, it means that this flag has not turned yet, but it has start to enter. So we will increment the score, and after this incrementing, it will this flag will become true. So when in the next frame, when this calculation still returns true, this function will check and it will check that okay, becomes true, so it doesn't need to increment the score anymore. So let's try it. Let's go to move it, then collide it. Now you see the score becomes 1, and that's true false. The reason is because this one becomes true, so the score will not increment anymore. It will only increment once when the flag is false. You see, it will only increment once when the flag is false, and in case of overlapping both, it will increment when it enter the second green. So when it okay, let's try it again. When it move right, it will touch both of them, and it will increment once for both of them. So let's try it. So this become false, this become 5. That's how to use the flag. So for the flag, we need to have a individual flag for each green box. And the reason that we cannot use single flag is because if we use a single flag, when we evaluate another green box, it will cancel the flag. So it will always be false. So it will always keep incrementing. So we need to have an individual flag for each green box. And now, because the green is elements, so I'm using an array to store the state for each one, and with the positioning corresponding to the green square element. And if you advance to the OOP, then you should make this flag a property inside the object each instance. So that's it for the 1B. And for the second one, the collision test formula. So this one, the math.hypotenuse x, y. So this is actually calculating the distance between this corner and this corner, and they may be greater than 60, but they actually already collided. So let's zoom in a little bit. You see they actually already collided, but you are still counting them as not collided because these 2 points has a distance greater than 60. And to solve this problem, we need to actually calculate it in a different way. So instead of using the distance way, because this is square, if you use square, then we can check the horizontal distance and the vertical distance. So we can, instead of doing this, we can do it in this way. So we still need to use the dx and the dy. And now we don't need to have the positive or negative. We can uh, uh, use the mass dot absolute to turn it into always positive. So dx will be mass dot absolute dx, and dy will be mass dot absolute dy. And here, when they have the both of them becomes the positive, then we will compare the value that of this one. Should have, if dx is smaller than or equal to smaller than 60 and dy is smaller than 60. So let's try it. So now we have changed it to, you see, now it becomes changed instantly because we have compared the x difference and the y difference separately. The x difference, we use the absolute to turn it into a positive number. So no matter it is on the left or on the right. So here you see it is still calculating. So if this corner, the upper left corner of the red brick and the upper left corner of the green brick, and their vertical distance is smaller than 60, and the horizontal distance is also smaller than 60, no matter which side, then it will count as overlapping. So this is for the square. This is for the square. And this is for circular object. So this hypotenuse one is for circular object, and you shouldn't use the upper left corner if you use the circular one. If you use the distance way, it should be the center picture. So this is how to solve the correlation test formula. So part 2. And part 3 is the get computer style. So part 3, I will separate into 2 parts. The first part is not using the get computer style, and the second part is using the computer style. When under what situation using get computer style becomes useful. So let's go to switch it into 2 different files. Copy, paste. Okay, so I have Sheida and Sheida copy. So for example, in the Sheida one, I will use the, okay, I should copy the JS2, JS. So for the Sheida copy HTML, I will import the Sheida copy JS. Okay. This is the first one and the second one. So for the Sheida JS, I will go to not use the get computer style. So here, I don't need this, but actually I will declare this inside the global scope. So here I will have red top, then the red left, red left, and you already have this one. So you see, you already have the red left here. Means when you move it, you already have the red left and the green left. So actually, you shouldn't need the, you see, the container. Let me just style, if I shrink it, you see we have the playground, then the red and green, and the playground has a position relative with a left and top. So the playground has a position relative of left and top. Then we have the red and the green. So you see this left and this up, when you increment it, it is already the left and the top. So we shouldn't need red left, red top. We just need the green left, green top. And the green left, green top. So because they have many green, so here we need the green, but the red, we don't need it. So let's keep the green. Let's keep the green. Instead of declaring a new variable, here we don't need red left, red top. We just use left top, and it should work too. Let's try. No, it's not. Right? Let's see. Get computer style. Get property value. Window.get computer value. So it's not. So we still need to have the. Right. So let's keep it. Wait as two. Right. Let's. This console log does not necessary anymore. Okay. So the third part of the get computer style, we still need it. We still need it because this green one, you use the get computer style to get it for each of the element, and you need it because you have not initialized it inside a previous way. So if you use the OOP, and then each of the green square has its own property, left and top, then you don't need this. But if you don't have, and you just have the HTML element here, and you just have the HTML element here, then you will need to use the get computer style inside the for loop. And so you use the get computer style for the red and blue, so that they have the same they are both calculating from here. So let's keep it. And next part is the set interval to update the score is not necessary. So here you have set interval SC1, and this SC is keep incrementing score. So this one you can just copy it to. You can keep this function, but you don't need this set interval. You can call this function inside your loop. So after the correlation test, we will print the score. So let's save it. Let's see it. You see, because why the score is incremented? Because you have called the SC inside your loop. So you don't need two loop. If you do two loop, you will slow down the block the rendering. So you will block the event loop. So you don't need two loops. You don't need this set interval. And the fifth one is the get element. So here we are using the ID red, green, and then go up, go left, go right. You have the red, you have the get the score green, you have get the score here, but this you haven't get the element. And in case the variable name is used somehow, then the code will crash. So it is better to get element. Yeah, let go up equals to element by ID go up, and let's do something for the go up, go left, go right, go down, go right, go down, all have this get element, go down. So this is let's test it. It works. And now the last one is don't use var. We should use let. So we will solve it by using the replace all. Replace all the var with let. Replace all. That's it. Save. Move to here, move to here. Yeah, it works well. Okay. So that's how to improve the. So that's how to solve the problem of the score keep incrementing. So let me restate the important point, which is here. So this is no longer a single flag. This is individual flag to indicate collection has started. So this entered will be an array. And when do we initialize it? We will initialize it at the beginning after we have get the elements by class name of the class green. And after that, we can initialize it by looping over the green element. So the how many green element we have, how many false inside the entered. And because it will be one-to-one corresponding, so each position is corresponding to um, green square. And inside the collection text, what we will do is instead of incrementing, when the formula becomes true, we will turn the flag to true. And when the calculation formula becomes false, we will turn the flag back to false. And when do we increment a score? We should increment inside when the calculation becomes true, but before we turn the flag true, we should do it here. And what we do is check if the flag is false. If it is false, increment it. If it is true, then it means that we have already incremented, so we don't do anything. So that's how to use the flag here. And I've also improved the formula because it seems to be a square one. So I have used this slide moderation for the square collision testing. So that's it. So if you still don't understand, feel free to ask me, Sheida. Thank you. Bye bye.